Hi, everybody. I'm Harry, Father Harry. I'm a priest of the Archdiocese of San Francisco and have been for almost 60 years. And during that time, I've had a close association with Michael Pritchard, and that's why we call ourselves the Padre and the Pritch. And we're going to be here talking for about 30 minutes, and hopefully you can join us. If not, you can listen to us. And if you don't listen or join, that's the challenge.
I think you'd have fun.
You know, I'm using the word challenge today because I grew up where challenges were problems. Do you remember problems?
I remember problems.
Oh, we don't have problems anymore. You have a challenge.
Challenge, yeah.
It's not a problem, and you can certainly overcome a challenge.
Yes. Yeah, you can easily solve a problem, but challenges, that's a lifelong journey, right?
Yeah. It's like trying to be all things to all people, as St. Paul used to talk about, which was an impossible challenge.
It wasn't
a problem, though.
Well, what was great about Paul was, though, he was a tax collector. He's kind of like a cop.
No, not Paul. That was Matthew. Matthew was a tax collector.
I thought St. Paul was a tax collector.
No, he was a tent maker. Oh. He could have fixed your pants.
Omar.
Yeah,
the tent maker.
He could have been your tailor. St. Paul, the tent maker, Michael Pritchard's tailor, personal tailor.
So St. Matthew
he was the tax collector.
All right.
Paul was the one who was named Saul, and he got knocked off his horse. And there was a big light in the sky, and the voice came, and it used to be one of my favorite meditations because I like those little Latin expressions. Quid vis me facere, which means, what do you want me to do? After he knocked him off his horse.
Wow.
So that's when they took him into Damascus, and he saw one of the prophets, and he told him, he got his vision back, and they said, now you're going to be...
That's right, he was struck blind, right?
Struck blind.
Wow.
That's when I said he couldn't see. That's
well,
sometimes I have to explain to the Pritch, different things that happen. No, he was, what would they say it now? Sight impaired.
Sight impaired, yes, right.
Blind as a bat.
But couldn't see. But we're not allowed to say those things now because
that would be a problem.
That would be a challenge for you because you'd have to explain why you were being so flippant about somebody else's challenge or problem. But that said, what I love is that I have laughed so hard with you over these 45, 50 years just at life. And as you continue to teach, the thing that I think right now, do you feel you're past the threshold of 80, but do you feel pressure at all from having gone through, decades of watching things change? And what is the biggest challenge that you face right now as you're going along?
Well, when you're ordained in the priesthood, you kind of have to follow the rules,
right?
Which you didn't.
True story, folks.
Yeah.
Right out the door at the seminary where Monsignor. Okay.
No, with that responsibility comes a lot of rules and regulations, way beyond the normal layperson's expectations.
Right.
And the responsibilities are the same, but then, as what someone said, how did you know you wanted to be a priest? And I said, well, I really didn't. If they called you in and say, we're going to throw you out, that was a pretty good sign that you shouldn't be there, or you should make some problematic adjustments and take on the new challenges.
Yes,
if you wanted that kind of life,
right,
or this kind of life that I'm still leading, and I said, yeah, that's what I want to do. And over these many years, there have been numerous challenges and problems, but The secret, and you know it, it's no secret if you are a real follower of Christ, is prayer.
Prayer life, yeah.
Finding some way to unload the challenges or the problems. Right. And unload doesn't mean you back up your truck and it means
dump it. No.
It means you share with somebody else.
Right.
And in a prayer life, you share your things with the transcendental, with God, with something that you feel like you're going to get rewarded, in the sense that it's not just you and your problem.
Right.
It really is from the beginning when you make it your problem, but when you share it and give it over, it's the same as this wonderful gift we have of reconciliation.
Yes.
When you can say you're sorry, and someone says, "I get it.
Right.
No problem. We'll get by this."
Yeah, and that, making amends to people when those issues come up. Part of that process is to do something that makes them know that you are truly being sincere and authentic in your apologies, and you're asking for forgiveness as you grant forgiveness. And that can restore a human being's spirit, right?
Right, exactly. And the many times that I like to tell people, give this problem, this worry to God, because God's going to be up all night, and one more situation from you isn't going to make a difference in His life or God's life.
Right.
In the world, it's just going to be a way you have of instead of counting sheep,
Yeah.
Why not?
The process of blessing yourself. I always think when I'm working with kids, and especially on the topic of bullying, when they're tormenting or teasing each other, I remember this one young girl who literally, I don't know how best put, she had two boyfriends that were good friends to her, not just boyfriends, just kids she went to school with, and they were 12, and they were always getting into trouble. And I kept saying, this is like Huckleberry Finn and Tom Sawyer, always in trouble. Becky Thatcher's heart healed them in the middle of class because she said to them, "I see you going down the wrong way, and I'll need you here when I have children of my own. And I'm begging you." And they're both 12-year-old boys. And they both fell apart. And they were bad kids. They were in trouble all the time. Oh, my God. They both started to cry because Becky Thatcher's heart, that's what I call her, because Twain was brilliant at pointing that out and saying, hey, this young woman's 12-year-old heart healed two little boys and made them be stronger, wiser, kinder people.
Now, when you were going through that experience, would you have mentioned Mark Twain and Becky? And
I did.
Oh, you did?
I did.
Did they know who it was?
Oh, they did.
No.
Yes, they did. There were 12-year-olds right up the road here in Sonoma, and they had read. And then I made sure that the teacher was a friend, gave them Huckleberry Finn and Tom Sawyer. And it was because Twain's was brilliant at teaching both satire and the lovely art of human interrelationships. Now, we're judging. They go through the emotional archaeology. They use this word or that word. Okay, folks, we can reach all these things, but one of the kindest things we can do is assign some wisdom to the literature that was written in the times, in the way it was written, to teach us how far we've come from that ignorance. And take that as, you're not teaching a kid ignorance. What you're doing is you're teaching them how people were ignorant in those days.
So in that story, would you have garnered from your own just listening to the girl talk, and then putting in the Mark Twain, or would you have done that later?
I did it then and later as well, because you know what, Harry? I grew up in a Catholic school. I loved my classmates. I'm not just saying that. I loved them all, girls and guys. I had the most wonderful class of 30 kids with me.
Really?
And I didn't have, anything but love for my classmates. And I watched them, and it was a working class Irish, Italian parish, Polish, Irish, Italian parish in St. Louis, German. All of our priests were German guys. And they were wonderful teachers, and we had Irish nuns from Incarnate Word. I had a great experience.
They didn't slap you on the...
Oh, yeah, they did. And then
Now, wait a minute.
They were in line behind my mom and dad, though.
Yeah, I was going to say the reason you liked the school is because it was getting out of the house.
Oh, yeah, okay, here's one of the routines I used to do. My dad goes, I want you to cut the grass today. And so he comes home, and then he says, hey, I'm looking out there. Did I or did I not tell you to cut the grass this morning when I left? I go, oh, I forgot, Dad. Yeah, what if I forgot about my job? What if I forgot what I was supposed to do? Maybe you could cut the grass. And, boom.
Yeah.
And of course, now, folks, we're not laughing at child abuse.
No.
Because my father was a World War II officer, and I'm sure he had struck many of his infantry guys anyway.
Yeah.
But
well, we're older
those were the
now.
days, yeah.
Those were the days, yeah.
And World War II was, stop crying before I give you something to cry about.
Yeah, right.
If everybody else jumped off the bridge, do you want
More of that?
Do you want stop crying before I give you something? That was my favorite. This one I thought was the best. Do you want me to turn this car around right now? Yeah, Dad, go ahead. I'd like to see that.
While we're on the Eads Bridge.
Yeah, oh, yeah, exactly. The Three Stooges. Hey, my pop, he could hurt somebody. So, Harry Fender on KPLR TV. Channel 11, first of the cable network. Anyway, I watch the Three Stooges every day, and I love them. They had wisdom.
Today? No.
I watch it every day. I can't help because when I was working in St. Louis, I got in trouble from the judge at the courthouse because I got on the loudspeaker and I went, calling Dr. Moe, Dr. Larry, Dr. Curly, see a man about a dog, that is all. So,
Yeah, you got in trouble for that?
oh, yeah. You're not supposed to do that in the middle of court.
Oh,
But he did laugh.
What were you up for?
Well, Judge Lowry calls in. He goes, do you find it amusing?
Not anymore.
Not right now, Your Honor. This is my face. And he goes, you are a juvenile officer. You do not make stupid things happen around here. This is a court of law. And so when I hit the door, of course.
Yeah.
Sorry, Your Honor. But he
But
was
you-
Irish.
You were out to the other side of the door.
I was on the other side, and I knew he was Irish. I knew he was going to laugh when he heard me do whoop, 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 whoop.
So do you put any real wisdom, all these older guys, not necessarily as old as I am or you
Right.
are, but who talk about their Catholic education and how the nuns hit them, and it's almost like a badge of courage now to a lot of them.
Right.
And they say, well, I learned.
I loved my sisters. They were great. And, I always felt like I was so safe, so blessed, so protected because we had the Knights of Columbus, the Children of Mary Sodality. We had all these, the Parents Club, the PTA, all these groups in the 50s. They would gather, and it was the whole life. The Spring Festival was the life, and it was the life of the parish was the parish life, but it was extended out. We ran CYO, and I learned everything about moral turpitude from the men and the women that were around me to show respect for love, compassion, kindness. And I remember I was, I swore in at 17 and started taking care of wounded people. And the first thing I thought of was what my dad and my brother taught me. These are your sisters and brothers. Care for them as you would your sisters and brothers. And that came from the deep core of being a Catholic boy. And when I risked my life, and have risked my life on dozens of occasions to do stuff that, there's nobody standing there that's going to go do that. You just know that that's you, When you're called, answer the call, because you can't look at yourself in the mirror thinking, I could have saved that kid, I could have saved that woman, I could have saved that guy, and if you have to risk your life or give your life, that's all part of our proud faith tradition. And I saw my brothers do it, and I saw all of my friends do it that I was raised with. And still, even to this day, I honor the nuns and the priests and folks like you who taught us that. And they were all, Father Kerskiter, Father Weber, Father Gangnepane, all these, German names. They were, Gangnepane was French. I think he was Vincent.
Oh,
Yeah.
He used to fish with my brothers.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
He's a big barrel-chested French guy, yeah.
He was, we won't talk about that situation.
Okay, I'll let that go. Yeah. There it was, fleeting away.
Anyway, I knew him when he lived back in Cape Girardeau.
Oh, yeah. Cape
Which is
Girardeau.
closed now because of lack of interest.
There's one book in the library in Cape Girardeau, folks. And it says why you should move, and it's checked out all the time. No, I'm just kidding. Don't come. I mean, I've been honored by Southeast Missouri, so I got to be nice. I love Cape Girardeau. I love living on Good Hope, and with my football player roommates. Many of them were playing at Southeast Missouri. And
you lived on Good Hope Street?
Good Hope, yeah. It was awesome. I loved it. And I mean, I had the greatest life. $33 a month rent. I got I'm not kidding about this. I got a great education, folks, I thought, and I believe to this day, because I get to lecture in places that most people never get to dream of about the things I've learned in my journey through life as a person who is kind of neurodiverse. And I swear to you that growing up, $110 a semester, tuition and books. That's what I paid for 2 years after junior college. And I love my junior college experience.
Were those books with words or just pictures?
Big words, big pictures too. Now they call them graphic comic. Novels, comic book. But if they got pictures, I was paying attention. Me, Goober, and Gomer. But what I can tell you is I had a great education. I studied Russian history under Kennan. I researched, and I still read because these phones that we have, they're like moving libraries, right?
Right.
You know, always
look, if
learn.
anything.
Yeah.
See if your name's in here.
No, don't look that up. But I think that growing up that way and having been grateful for what I got made me, when you showed up and I showed up out here in California, I mean, this is pretty much the promised land, right?
Yeah, it is. So let's talk about for a minute. I don't know how much time
Sure.
we have left, but we've got all the time in the world because if we don't do it today, we'll do it the next time.
Yeah.
So I've been introduced more and more to what the term is helicopter parents.
Right, yes.
And, you know, they're always hovering over, and you see them standing there waiting for their child to come out of school.
Right.
We didn't have any of that.
No.
You know.
No, there's an anxiety and a fearfulness now where they're purchasing opportunities for their kid to go to the right Ivy League school, to the right high school, to the right public school, the right private school. You see it in the city. People compete for slots to go to the quote-unquote right school. That's their anxiety. And that kind of anxiety is so contraindicative of helping a child feel assured and confident and grateful. And folks, truly trust me, helicoptering does not help relaxation. Because I'm around kids, and this generation coming forward, They're so smart.
Yeah.
They're emotionally smart as well, Father.
Oh, well, that's good to hear.
You know, I mean, I really do. If you give them a chance to talk and to say the things, I can draw. One of my favorite lines was a kid I just had here recently. She goes, "Texting is my first language." And I love that line. Yes, I said, you can't get funnier than that. Texting is my first language. And it was right here in the studio. I started laughing. I thought, wow, because that's the anxiety level they're at. Okay. They'd rather not see the person, but anonymously can say more.
Yeah.
They feel. But
well, there's a freedom there.
Yeah, and you don't have to face them and their judgment or see their eyes looking disdainfully or contemptuously at you for your thought errors. And
so I get a note from these parents. I think they're
right.
both helicopter parents.
Right.
Would you please write a letter to the director of admissions to Reardon High School for my kid, because we want to make sure we get him in there. And I said, well, how old is your kid going to graduate? No, he's in the 4th grade. I said,
fear.
I said, well, the director of admissions, he said, I told him the story.
He might be older.
Yeah, he goes back and he said, tell them not to worry, but when he gets to the 7th grade, at least we can start a process. But, you know, by the 5th grade, the kid might be in jail.
Yeah, well, but the other thing is, if he's not in jail, he's super anxious because the parents have gone, what if, you know,
what
folks,
if, yeah.
Calm, godcalm.com. Thankful and tranquil, grateful, not hateful, amenity of serenity. Allow things to unfold as they should. Fear is the little dark room where negatives are developed.
Oh boy, listen to this guy.
And it's true, because that anxiety, that fear, I remember I had one of the kids who said, there's so many sweet and wonderful and kind people out there that love you and want the best for you, and you've got to allow them to be heard in your brain as much as the fears, the phobias, the idiosyncrasies that your mom and dad and you have evoked inside the echo chamber of your brain. And I'm just like, there it is. And so if the kid is absorbing that fear, they're afraid to take steps. And this is why I always tell them, be a writer.
Oh. There
There was a lady who was a writer named Annie Dillard. She wrote a book, Father Harry, called The Writing Life. And she was an Iowa University professor, an Iowa workshop. And this was her line, folks. All my life, I was unfamiliar with the fact that I was a bell until I was lifted up and struck. And then I began to resonate like a bell. And that's what writers become. And teaching a kid to process things through writing, through art, through music, through teaching them something that is an expressive art is the best way to deal with that level of anxiety. And I want to get the parents involved in it. And we did a benefit right here for a group called, and you could look it up, folks, San Francisco Creative Foundation, run by Dr. Emil Kakis. And it's about nurturing music, theater, art, dance, writing, script writing in children in elementary and high school. Look up the website. You could watch some of the videos. But it's a way of having that as a resource to say, what if my kid becomes a violinist? And I just did a show, Harry, for Bread and Roses, a little minute thing. And I said, once when I was at Bread and Roses, we did a benefit for paralyzed people. And it was a cellist group. And the patients were crying. The doctors and nurses were crying. I was the host crying. And then the cellist began to cry as they played a piece from Bach. And they could see that paralyzed people could heal from the sound of that music. And folks, if you want your kids not to be anxious, teach them music. And make them go practice. Because like I said to them, if you practice, you'll forget when you played Carnegie Hall,
Yeah,
but
and
you'll always remember that time that you played music for paralyzed people.
that's why you sing in my chapel out on. I like it when you're outside singing because we don't have to hear you on the inside. Whoa, he comes down the hall. Whoa, and because they're long parallel things,
Now-
you get the best sound, and you think, I am really good.
Listen to that echo.
Yeah,
Listen
yeah.
to that. Well, that was, Harry, I opened for.
You know, that used to come from your belly, but you're losing so much weight.
It's here behind me. It's like behind every big man, there's a big behind. But anyway, okay, we can edit that. Anyway, but look, here's the thing. I opened for the great guitarist and singer, and I'll avoid his name, but I opened it.
Oh, you were avoiding his name. You can't think.
But because when he was walking out, one of the old musicians goes, somebody needs to tell him to turn down the reverb and turn up the talent. And I was like, oh, I love people. I love show business. Yeah. There's no business like, that joke where the guy's scooping up after the elephants.
Yeah.
And he goes, why do you do this? What, give up show business?
Well, I was just, I got lost in your long tale there about the
elephant's tail.
No, the lady who, when you first started saying who she was, you went,
oh, yeah.
When you tell that story again, put it like, hi, I'm Mrs. So-and-so, the writer.
Well, no, but
I thought she would have hair on her.
Can't I just tell a story without?
I'm challenging you.
Oh, okay.
And ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and elephants on parade.
Okay.
That was for you, Warren, in case you. Thank you all for joining us. It's the Padre and the Pritch, and we'll be back with another topic, and hopefully you'll be able to join us. God bless you all. Thanks.
God bless, folks.